Hello, fifth grade. Last time we were here, we made optical illusion art with a heart. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a different kind of optical illusion heart if you finished your other one. So today, I'm going to use some colored pencils. I'm going to put these to the side because I'm not ready for those yet. I'm also going to need another ruler, just like last time. With optical illusion art, you want to make sure you're trying to be precise and make your line straight, and I need a pencil. You might need an eraser to erase. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to practice making another border for my paper because I really think that adding a border makes your art look a little bit more professional, and it gives it a really nice look. So I'm using a big paper, and I wanted to show you what you can do if your ruler is not big enough to fit across your whole paper. The first thing you can do is you can leave a little bit of space because you know that you don't need to draw it all the way across anyway. The second thing you're going to do is just hold it down after you line it up with the bottom. And then once you get to the end, you're just going to move it, line it up again so your line is the same, and then continue that line on. So I'm going to do that at the top now. I'm going to line up to the edge, leave a little bit of space. I'm going to move it, make sure it's still lined up on the edge, make sure my line is lined up too. I can even overlap it a little bit to make sure it's the same line. And now we have our two long lines. Okay, so now I'm going to do it across this way, which fits, which makes my life a little bit easier. I'm going to hold it down. I can ask my friend to hold my ruler for me if this is moving around on me and I can't get it to stay without sliding. And then I'm going to do this side, line it up, hold it down, and use my pencil to make my line. So now I have my border. So you get to decide, are you going to make your heart this way or this way? Today I'm going to make my heart this way. Oops, and I dropped one of my colored pencils. Let's pick that up. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is make a ginormous heart, or you could make any other shape you want to make. It would be interesting to make like a star or something if you're up for that kind of challenge, but you need it to be like a solid shape. So it could be like a football, but you wouldn't add any details to the football until later. So just the solid shape. So if it was a football, you would just draw the football shape and stop. So I'm going to do a heart because it's still the week of Valentine's, so I'm just going to go with that. And I also know of an artist named Jim Dine who loved to make hearts, and he would try to make them in lots of unique ways. So I'm just going to go with my heart theme. And as you can see, we're in fifth grade. We've made hearts before. So I'm going to make my heart different than I've ever made it before. I just kind of made something up. So I made this side kind of curvy, and then I made this side a lot bigger so that it still fills the space in an interesting way. There's not way too much empty space on this side, and there's not on this side, but it's not quite just like perfectly the same on both sides. So you could try to make it different this time, or if you like just making a normal symmetrical heart, you can do that as well. So here's my heart. Make sure it's nice and big. Now we're going to do, instead of using our ruler to make our lines perfectly straight across, this time we're going to do it a little bit differently. So instead, we're going to make a curved line. So we're going to make a curved line that comes in the middle of our heart to the other middle. So since my middle is not straight up and down, yours might be straight up and down, mine's not. So I'm going to make a curved line that starts at the top and goes through here, in the middle here, and then it comes through to the bottom middle here. And I'm just going to make that a curve so that it continues and touches the end here. So your line will look different than mine if you made your heart different than mine, okay? Now that you have that in the middle, now instead of making straight lines, I'm going to go ahead and instead of having to jump over the heart, I'm just going to go straight through the heart. So I'm going to make a curved line this way. So you could make it straight if you want. I'm just going to make it kind of curved. That's my artistic choice there. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of space and make another one. And I'm just going to kind of mirror this shape that I created here. So I'm going to make it similar all the way down. So I'm going to do that all the way to the bottom of this first line I made. So here we go. Here we go. I'm trying to leave about the same amount of space in between each line, but we're not using a ruler this time, so it doesn't need to be perfect. We're just trying it a little differently this time. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that like that. So do you see how I added stripes but my stripes are just kind of curved. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here, except this time I wanna make it a little different. So I could make it curve the same way, just this direction, but I'm gonna try and maybe curve down and come up this time. Whoops, down and come up. But this is the important part. I want you to match up your line on this side with the line that you made on the left side. So make a little dot for yourself so you know, and then go ahead and just mirror whatever you did on the first line. So again, I'm just gonna make a dot so I know that they're lined up. My two sides are lined up. Consider this an artistic experiment to see what it turns out looking like. Ooh, some of these are getting really close together because I wanted them to line up. So that's kind of an interesting effect that's happening here. This one's really close. This one's gonna hit the corner. This one's gonna hit down here. Okay, so now I've broken my heart up into lots of different interesting shapes. So all we're gonna do now is we're gonna take black. I highly suggest you use black just to add contrast between black and white to every other one. And as long as you use black in every other one, then you can use any colors you want to fill in the shape that you created. So in my case, I made a heart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a Sharpie. I forgot to tell you you can have a Sharpie today. Or a marker. That's black. Or you could use crayon or something else. And I'm gonna decide where to start. Let's start with this one here. So I'm gonna make a little dot and then I'm gonna go and outline the shape that I made as best I can. I'm trying to be a little quick for the video, so you guys might take your time a little bit more than I did. And then I can fill that in. So I'm gonna do this one and then I'm gonna skip one. I'm gonna do this one. So that's gonna be filled in, that's gonna be filled in. I can make another dot so I know. Skipping one, I'm filling this one in. Filling this one in. So I'm gonna do this all the way across my entire paper. So I just did the outside of this side. So now when I do my heart, I'm gonna make sure that I'm skipping one. So instead of doing this one's gonna be white because it's next to this black piece. This one is going to be black. So it's every other one, just like a checkerboard. So adding little dots before you color sometimes can really help you out. So then I'm gonna skip this one. This one's gonna be black. Outline this shape. Sometimes you might have really small shapes like this little tiny, like this. So this is black, this is white. So then this one would be black, this little tiny triangle that I created here. This is black. I'm not gonna make you watch me color all these in, so I'm going to cut this video short and then come back with a second video and we'll do the colored part together. But you're gonna just keep repeating this. Make a little dot so you know which ones you're coloring in. And again, when you get down to some of these areas down here, some of these shapes might be really small. And that's gonna make your art look so much more interesting when you have all these tiny little shapes that you took the time to color in and pay attention to. So just so you guys know how to continue this is black, white, black. That means this is white, so next to it, this is gonna be black. So we're kind of switching over on this side, and then this color is gonna be black. That means that this big section here is gonna be white, which means that this is black, so this is white, so then this one's black. This is an interesting shape. If this whole section is white, then this top part of my heart is going to be black. And it takes a little bit of thinking when you're deciding which ones are gonna be black and which ones are gonna be white. But it is worth it. It's kind of like doing math in art, which is kind of cool. You're using your critical thinking skills to decide. This one's black, this one's white, this one's black. You're always skipping. Skipping. This one's gonna be black, white, this one's black. Alright, this one is gonna be white because this is black, black, white, black, white, This one is gonna be black because we're skipping one, so this one's black. This big shape here is gonna be black. And because we made a border, we don't have as much to color in, because sometimes coloring in all these sections can take a while. So it's a good thing we made our border. You could use a smaller piece of paper if you don't want to do all this coloring, but I enjoy the challenge sometimes. All right, so this is white, this is black, little dot, black. Okay, this is gonna be black. And this is white, so then this one's black. So I've already decided which ones are all gonna be black. I'm gonna go ahead and color these in, and I'm gonna come back with another video so we can do the color parts together. See you soon.